Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Monday Night Live here on Matterhorn Business Development. Welcome. Thank you for tuning in. We hope you're having a good day. As always, this is our usual Monday night, every Monday, 7 o'clock Eastern Time. You get me and Dr. Winteregg. And tonight, well, I'll introduce Greg first. Go ahead, Dad.
Well, you want me to introduce myself?
I'll just say, hey, what's up?
Oh, hi, what's up?
You can tell nothing is ever coordinated on what we're here for. We'd be very bad script writers if this was all scripted.
Yeah. We're very bad actors because we can't follow our lines.
That's probably true too. So anyway, yeah, we are here every Monday night talking business and going over your questions. Tonight we are going to talk about how to start a new business or take an idea that you have and put it into motion, that type of a concept, which incidentally enough is a lot about what Dr. Winteregg's book, Fun at Work, which you can see over his shoulder there, actually happens to be a lot about, is how to make your ideas turn into a reality. And so tonight, that is what we are here to talk about. So I'll turn it over to you.
Yeah, so Neil and I were talking before we went live, and really right now, this is exactly what we're doing at Matterhorn. We had this idea, and we're now turning it into a legitimate business. We're approaching 6,000 YouTube subscribers. We're getting business off of our YouTube channel now. It's now monetized. We got a membership program. But that's not how it started. Like, it started with an idea. And in my book, I talk about, what you have to do first. The foundation of the business needs to be the basic purpose of the business. And so I'll give you an example. So my mom has this food bar recipe that she makes with shaved almonds, and it's held together with honey, and it's got some really good healthy stuff in it. And when I was on the road a lot, she would make me these food bars so I could take them with me. And then I'd share one with somebody. Go, wow, your mom needs to go in the business. How many times has somebody told you that? Whoa, you're really good at this. You should go into business. All right. So that's totally fine. But then if my mom was going to do that as a business, first of all, she would have to have the basic purpose of making healthy food bars. It's not the basic purpose of making money. Well, you can make a ton of money doing that. Okay, good. That's a result of the business. It's not the purpose of the business.
Right.
So the basic purpose of the business is to help the customer solve a problem. So if we're going to just stick with the health food bars, so then what problem does that solve? Well, for me, it solved the problem of a nutritious snack, because I'm doing the seminar and then I talk to prospects all through lunch, and there's no time to go get a hamburger or whatever. And so I would just have a food bar with me, and then that would fill me up nicely. And so you'd have to roll this product back, whatever it is that you think you can make money off of. You have to roll it back away from the result, away from the making money, and say, well, what's the basic purpose? Who's our customer? Where do they live? And what's the problem we're trying to solve with our product or with our service? And so if we relate this back to Matterhorn, Neil and Abby and I had this idea that we could help the general business owner. I mean, I've already had Neil, Abby already in the dental practice management company, and we've been very successful there. We wanted to broaden this out to the general business owner. And so the basic purpose had to be to help general business owners have a more productive and profitable business that did not depend on them. And that's stated as our basic purpose. And so then once you have that basic purpose for, let's just say, this product, all right, now what you have to do, the next thing you have to do is you have to prove that somebody wants it, and you have to prove that you can do it, and you're going to have to start to deliver it at some sort of a reduced rate. So I don't know, Neil, how many free clients did we take on? 4 or 5?
Yeah, we took on a number in the beginning, that's for sure.
Yeah, so we had the idea. We thought we could make it work, but then we took on 4 or 5 clients for free. And then what happened is we ended up able to get a result with them. So now we had success stories. Matter of fact, some of those
Right.
videos are still online. And so now we proved that we could get a result. And this doesn't have to take a year. You can do this kind of rapidly. And then you have to promote and you have to sell it. So then the next clients we brought on for about 50% of what we thought. What are you doing, Neil?
Luna is all over me,
Oh, the
and
cat.
yeah, she just brought me her favorite toy, and she was meowing. I was on mute. I was trying to calm her down, and she
We'll just
just wants.
include her in on the call.
Yeah, she wants to say hello to the live stream. So there was nothing I could do. I was trying to keep her quiet. Let's get your tail down.
After we proved that we could get a result for free, then we started to promote and we started to sell our services for about half of what we actually wanted. Then we started to get results from people who were paying us. And then after doing that for a period of time, and I don't remember the whole timeline, but we probably delivered it for about half of what we wanted to for a year.
Mm-hmm.
And then we raised our fees up to something that we thought were more in alignment with the result that we were producing. But really, it kind of boils down to it in the book here is there's a basic purpose. And then once you have proven your concept that you actually can deliver what you're promising, then you have to market it, you have to sell it, and you have to organize the activity. And you need to have a strategy for marketing, a strategy for sales, a strategy for delivery, and a strategy for the organization and management of your business. And many people right now, I mean, this is how to start a new activity. Many people watching this may have a day job. So, matter of fact, we have a couple of clients who they have a day job, but they've hired us so that the hobby and the side hustle can become the day job.
Yeah, we even did a video about that a couple of weeks ago on the channel about starting a side hustle, so to speak, which it's all in line with exactly everything that you're talking about right now.
Right. So you're taking your hobby or something you're good at and you turn it into a side hustle where now you're making some money. And then as you're growing that, if you want, the side hustle can now become the legitimate business that replaces your income. But that's going to take some time. Don't be frustrated if this takes you 12 to 24 months to get this rolling and get it off the ground. But you have to really get into the chapter in the book on basic purpose, because you can make a lot of money in a lot of different ways. But if you don't like it, it's not going to matter how much money you're making.
Yeah, exactly.
So that really is the foundation, the basic purpose. Then prove that you have a concept that people want and that you can get the result that you're expecting to get, whether it's a product or a service. And then you're going to have to scale it up with a marketing effort, a sales effort, work out your sales process, and be able to deliver what you promised, to be able to deliver what you sell. And then we talk about in the book, you have to monitor your results with graphs. And now you're running it like a real business. You now have a real actual business. You have an endeavor that's generating some income.
Absolutely. So then after you've got your basic purpose figured out and you start putting your systems and all that in place, we've obviously talked a lot about hiring and doing all these extra things, right? I guess my thing would be the next step is to actually go out and start charging money for your service. Yep. And start selling it. And then you have to learn what works when you sell and what doesn't work. And then now you've sold it. Now you have to deliver it to somebody. And then you find out what works, what doesn't work in the delivery of it. Right. And you have to figure out. Yeah, exactly. You have to figure out the process and then keep solving the problems.
And I would like to caution people. I see the same ads on YouTube that you see of, hey, look at this check that I just got in the mail today for $37,000. I can show you how to get one of those too on 3 hours a week.
Definitely.
And I don't know. I might be too dumb to be able to do that. Um, I I can't do that. And if you're looking to strike it rich, to hit it big, to put together, your Amazon business that runs on automatic, and you make $1 million a year in 6 months or less. I'm sure those people are out there, but also there are lottery winners out there too. That win the 100 million, 200 million, $1 billion. They're out there. I'm not saying it's impossible, but let's talk about reality.
Yeah, I mean, I have, and just along that line, I know some people who are very, very successful with selling on Amazon, and the idea is, man, it'd be so great to just sell all my crap on Amazon and make millions of dollars and all that stuff. But man, the people that I know that are selling at that level, it is not just like
sleep until noon, have your
yeah,
cup of
it's not like you
coffee,
just hit
and
a
then
button and say, "Look at how much money we made today."
open up your phone and say,
Yeah,
"Wow, I'm rich."
yeah.
No, it's work.
I mean, somebody I know, they're part of a selling organization. There's a bunch of people that are all interconnected under one umbrella, and they all sell products and services and all that stuff. Anyway, they have like 150 employees. So it's not just like, look at all this money that we made. It takes a while to build it to that. So you can never just think, oh yeah, I'm just gonna like do this and it's just gonna make money. And all I have to do is wait for the phone to ring or for my bank account to get that email saying somebody bought something, and then I make a bunch of money. There's work involved. I mean,
Yep.
what was that thing that you said is like everybody's an overnight success after 2 years or something? Like
Yeah,
it takes 2 years of hard work to become an overnight success in a sense.
well, and the Eagles came out of nowhere, but I don't remember the exact data, but they played like every bar in Texas for 7 years. So I have a friend who now has over 4 million YouTube subscribers, and it took him like, I don't know, 5 or 6 years to get to 100,000. So he became an overnight success in like 7 years.
Right.
So I don't know. I would caution you, first of all, chasing the next shiny object. That's the easy way to make money.
Yep.
Abby and Neil and I were laughing today about Bitcoin is now the new gold rush and the new shiny object. I know nothing about it, but whenever there's an app that you can buy that now is going to make you the next billionaire, I'm just skeptical, because it takes hard work and it takes a strategy and it takes effort to run a business and make it work. And so that's not what this is. This is about having a strategy on how to make something work. This is definitely not get rich quick or overnight sensation kind of a thing.
Exactly. And the other thing is, as you're growing a business, you're going to have this idea, and it's going to be really simple, and it's going to be really easy. And then you're going to go out and you're going to do it, and you're going to realize it doesn't work. And then you're going to have to change, and then you're going to have to change again. And it takes 2 or 3 times of taking what you think is this great idea and then pivoting it and changing it around. I've experienced this in the last year with 2 different businesses that I own, where I went in with one thing and then now it doesn't even really look anything like it did because things change. And what you think is going to work ends up only making sense to you and not necessarily to everybody.
Well, and you and Abby were just talking, and I were just talking last week. Matterhorn today looks nothing like what we had originally intended it to look like when we did our first seminar.
Yeah.
So you have to be passionate about the basic purpose, and the basic purpose for us was to help the small business owner be able to grow, have more profit, and be able to work on the business instead of in the business. And we had one particular path that we were going down that really today that path is kind of overgrown. I mean, we don't even do much of what we originally thought we were going to be doing, but my goodness, our clients are doing fantastic. I mean, we have a chiropractor that started with us December the 28th, who right now is up by 50%.
Yeah.
In 4 months. She's up by 50% since December the 28th.
And that's the result of our several years of really honing in on the best way and the best processes and the best way of figuring out how to help people. Like we're the ones, like you said, we're the model. We're our own model, right? So like we're telling you how to grow your business the same way we grew our business, and we made mistakes and we didn't do it right, and then this didn't work, and we found out, oh, this doesn't work, and now we have everything in place to where you can figure it out. And we've got a couple of comments here. We got Miss D in the comments. We got Mark Murak. Welcome, Mark, our newest member to our YouTube membership. Mark says having an accountability coach is very important as well. Absolutely. We've talked about that, is that if you're entering into a new realm, it's good to have somebody that you can work with and make sure that you are figuring out, is this the right way to do it? What is the right way to do it? Having somebody there to keep you accountable and keep you on the straight and narrow is also extremely important. So that's also a very good point. Miss D says being agile is key. We talked about that exactly. And there are many ways to make money. That's fine. However, you have to ask yourself what you want. And that goes back to what your basic purpose is. What is the basic purpose of starting this new business? If it's just to become a millionaire, if it's really that easy, if just clicking a button, becoming a millionaire, that's fine. You can go ahead and do that. But in reality, there's going to be work involved, and you have to ask yourself if that's really what you want to do.
And to Mark's point, having an accountability coach is important, but I would say that accountability, whoever you're trying to be accountable to, whoever you're saying, I'm going to have this done by this day or whatever. Okay. So it's one thing to make that promise, like, I'm going to have this done by this day. But then I think whoever you're being accountable to should be somebody who has experience with having done that. Because we have many clients who come up with particular targets of achievement, and we're like, no, that's, first of all, that's not real, or you don't want that. You don't want to achieve that. Mm-hmm. For example, we have a client, residential architect and engineer, who, by the way, in their first year, more than doubled with us. And initially, he goes to a site and he does an inspection of the property. Is the foundation cracked? Is the soil right? I mean, he's an engineer, and then he designs a solution to the problem, and he has to do an inspection. And so he, in our very first onboarding call, he said he was going to go get his mold inspector's license. I'm like, well, why would you want to do that? He said, because a lot of people need mold inspections. I'm like, okay, so how does a mold inspection lead to an architectural job? And he paused. Well, it doesn't really. I'm like, okay, so why would you go get your mold inspector's license? He says, because a lot of people need a mold inspection. I'm like, okay, so what you need to do is have a good referral and refer the people who need mold inspections to somebody who does mold inspections and then does the mold remediation, because you're not going to do that. So this made total sense because it was an inspection and he could make $400 or $500 off the inspection, where his average drafting job off of an inspection was $1,500.
Right.
So then if you have an accountability coach and you say to your coach, I'm going to go get my mold inspector's license, and the coach says, that's a great idea. When are you going to have that done, Neil? Well, I'm going to have that done by June the 15th. Good. I'm calling you. I'm putting it in my phone. I'm calling you to make sure you've got that mold inspector's license done. And I'm not taking no for an answer, or you owe me $5. And okay, that's having an accountability coach, but they're taking you off a cliff. You're just going over the cliff together. So I'm saying Mark is exactly right. You do need an accountability coach, but you need an accountability coach that can actually help give you some
guidance. Put you in the right direction.
Yeah. So you need somebody who has some experience either in that industry or like us, business in general. I mean, I've been in business for 40 years. And so I have tons of experience. I've started businesses that have been very successful. I've started businesses that have been total flops. And so you have to be sure that you're getting advice from people who have knowledge and experience in what it is that you're doing.
Exactly. And that's an important aspect of growing a business, is having somebody like that you can count on and work with, whether it's a family member or somebody that you pay, whatever. We did a whole video on this recently about, do you need a coach or do you need a mentor, or how do you find somebody, etc. But if you're by yourself, it's hard to get things done by yourself. And a lot of new businesses these days that people have are really just solopreneur type things. We have an app, we can do things, we can, et cetera, et cetera. And so a lot of times, a lot of new businesses that people have are really just them kind of winging it on their own. And so you really do need somebody that you can work with. Otherwise, it's all just stuck up in your head, and you'll never see the answer to the problem. We're kind of deviating off the initial topic here, but it's all naturally flowing. But I had this one time, I was helping a business who was having a particular issue in their sales area. And so it was something I knew nothing about, but they're telling me about how the process goes of somebody calls in, they get this reach, and then we do this, and then we do that, and then we do this, and we do that. And I'm sitting there and I go, so why do we do this first and not this first? And they go, well, we've sort of always done it that way, but when you ask the question, it does tell me that it's pretty stupid. I'm like, I'm just asking. I'm not saying
you weren't even evaluating.
I'm not even saying that this is stupid. I'm just saying, why do we do that? And then they're like, yeah, we should probably stop doing that. And so we stopped doing that one thing, and it made a change, right?
Yeah.
So that's because somebody external and not just stuck up here was able to spot that.
Well, and this is a valid point to what we're talking about is, how do you start a new endeavor? I think you need a mentor. I think you need somebody that has done it before, or somebody that has some sort of experience in that arena. My older son, Vince, Neil's brother, wants to get into real estate. And so I connected him with someone who became a multimillionaire in real estate. And Vince took him to lunch and just started picking his brain. And the guy was like, you definitely don't want to do that. You want to do this. And he now has become a mentor. And they actually may even be going in on a property together now. But I'm just saying, thinking that you're going to be a one-man band and you can watch some YouTube videos and everything's going to be fine. You really do need somebody else to bounce ideas off of. I mean, we have our staff meeting at Matterhorn every Friday at 10:30, and they're a lot of fun because that's when we throw ideas out. We take a look at the statistics. What about this? What about that? And we all contribute to Matterhorn in some way, shape, or form with this idea, that idea. And it's never like, oh, wow, that's stupid. It's more like, well, what if we did that in this manner or that manner? And so I think you need, as part of starting a business, I think you need somebody that knows what they're doing in that arena. I mean, Neil, our friend Tim, has a hugely successful heating and air conditioning company business. And he started out apprenticing, like working for somebody else. And that's how he figured out the industry. So this definitely has to be something that you need somebody to help show you the ropes in your industry, or somebody who has experience in business. And I think that's a very important part of starting a new business endeavor. Absolutely.
Absolutely. So for everybody still watching live, please hit that thumbs up button. Go back through any of you that are curious about learning more about this. Greg, actually, a lot of this is right out of the book. And if you go to the YouTube channel, we have a playlist, and I'm pulling it up here in the background so I can find it here.
Yeah, so I shot a video for the introduction in every chapter in the book.
Yeah, so exactly.
We have a whole playlist on our YouTube channel, and each video is 5 to 10 minutes long at the most. And some people are like, and you can also get the audiobook on Audible or the other audio platforms if you want to listen to the whole book, or while you're riding around in the car, you can just pull up the YouTube channel and pipe the videos into your
Yeah, so there's a playlist called Fun at Work by Greg Winteregg chapter series. So you can go to the YouTube channel, look under playlists. We have several playlists, but there's 13 videos. Each one is roughly 8 to 10 minutes long, so it's not very long. But it's called Fun at Work by Greg Winteregg, and it's kind of a chapter by chapter overview and guidance and tips on from the book. So go ahead and check those out. So Mark has a question. He says, how would you let someone know that they are unfocused when they don't think so? Too many offerings. Well, that's an interesting one. Me and Greg will probably have two different answers. I'm the type of person who just says, hey, listen, you're not focused on what it is that you're doing. You have to actually decide what it is that you want to do, and you have to be focused. And I'm more of a get into their space by just being honest and upfront and just sort of like, listen, you have to focus. You're not focused on this. I'm very upfront with telling people what I think. But if I feel like somebody's so out of focus that they won't even understand what I'm telling them, then I have to come up with an alternative way of saying, maybe you should look at what you really want. Right? You could say, maybe you should list out all the things that you really want from your job or from your new business and focus on those and handle those things first before you handle something else. And so that might hit somebody where it's at a level of what they can comprehend or understand. But what do you think?
Well, and if we refer back to what we've been talking about tonight with the basic purpose, and if there are too many offerings, and I've even told this story before, it's in the book, it's on video. So you have a guy who's mowing yards, and he notices that a lot of people, their gutters are dirty. So then he goes up to a guy at the house and he says, I can clean your gutters too while you're here. Well, then he has to go buy the long ladder, and he has to get some other equipment that he throws onto the trailer along with his mower. And so he starts doing gutters and mowing. And then when he's up on the roof, he notices that the chimney needs some mortar repair. And he used to do that when he was in high school. So he goes down to the homeowner and says, well, I can fix your chimney too. And then he has to go buy more equipment and throw that on. And all of a sudden, it's like, what is the purpose of this business? I mean, are you a handyman that would do everything? No, I cut grass. Okay, well then why are you cleaning gutters and doing pointing when you see what I'm saying? So my answer there, Mark, would be like, if there's this whole array of offerings, are they focused on the same basic purpose? And Neil, you tell the story about Marcus Lemonis all the time, the prophet. He'll go into a business that has 100 different products, and he'll do a data analysis, and they're only making money on 15 of them. And the other 85 are ordered, once a month or once a year. And so then the first thing Marcus does is he takes all the products that are not making money and he gets rid of them.
And the owners are like, no, people love those. I'm like, well, you sell one a month. How many people love them? But people talk about it. It doesn't matter, right? Like all of that type of stuff. Yeah, I like that.
So then the answer to that question, Mark, is there too many offerings? Okay, so first of all, are they all in alignment with a basic purpose? And then if they are, what are we making off of those services? And without getting into too many specifics, I have a client who has one main basic purpose, but then made a couple of other offerings. And when I did the data evaluation, when I brought this client on, I found out that one of those offerings was contributing to about 30% of the revenue, but it cost 80% of what was brought in. For example, if we're making $300,000 off of this service, it was costing $240,000 to deliver it. Well, that's a loser. That's just not going to work. So then the next thing, Mark, would be to do an evaluation on the different products or services, and like, are we really making any money off of this? So it's a broad question with a bit of a broad answer, but it does come back to basic purpose. And it comes back to Why is this business here? It's actually here to make a profit. It's here to solve a problem, but then it also has to make a profit.
Exactly. And then Mark laughs and says, "That's solid. Now advise me on how to get them to understand."
Yeah,
Well,
sometimes they just aren't going to,
yeah, and that's kind of what I was saying earlier, where I just tell somebody like, "Listen, you got to focus on this." It's just, I'm pretty blunt or more upfront about it most times. Um, but when you know somebody well enough, you can always figure out a way to sell. It's a sales process. You're
Yep.
selling them. You have to take an idea and sell it to them and make that idea their idea. So how do you communicate that to take your idea to them so that they understand it and go, "I just had this idea." And you're like, "Oh my God, I've been trying to tell you this for a year." And now they think that they solved their problem, and you let them go ahead and think that. But that's what it is you're selling them. You have to just come up with a way to sell that and make them understand that. So,
Yep.
yeah.
Good question, Mark.
Awesome. Well,
And whoever you're talking about definitely needs to become a client.
yeah. Tell
Doesn't
them to
matter
call me.
on
I'll take care of it for you.
yeah, so Willie Neal, he can help you with that. They at least need to join the membership program of our YouTube channel.
That's right. Yeah, Mark's our newest member, and he was our presenter last week, all about direct mail, which was a
Oh, nice.
fantastic. Yeah, we did a fantastic. It was almost an hour and a half, all about printing and print media and what every door direct mail is, how to buy a postal route, how to buy lists, how to print them, all
Yeah.
that stuff. That was a lot of fun. Appreciated that, Mark. That was
So
awesome.
that's our members only content. I would
That's
just like
right. That's the members only stuff. You can just click the join button down below, and you'll get to meet Mark.
yeah,
So anyway, I think that about wraps up what we had to say here.
I
What do
think
you
we're
think?
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I touched on the major points that I wanted to touch on.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you all for tuning in for this Monday Live. We will be back next week again at 7 p.m., so be sure to tune on in. Thank you, Mark, for watching. Thank you, Miss D, for watching and putting your comments in below. And
I
then
would like to
also,
say, oh,
yeah,
I'm sorry. I would like
no,
to
go
say that
ahead.
because the topic tonight is starting a new business. If you are starting a new business or even looking to start a new business, you should definitely join our Adventure to Profit program. And there's an application process to make sure that you qualify. So make sure that we think you're in that category that we can help you. Go to adventuretoprofit.com. You fill out the application and you can talk to us every week. We have videos that you watch that expand on the concepts in the book. We also are profit first professionals over my left shoulder here. And we're going to make sure that you make a profit out of your endeavor. And so you should definitely work with us in our Adventure to Profit program. So go to adventuretoprofit.com and apply.
Absolutely. And then stay tuned. As usual, we will have a new video on Wednesday and a new video on Friday on the YouTube channel. So be sure you tune in on that. We just filmed 4 more this morning. So
Yep.
those will be getting edited and going up next week. And again, good. Thank you to everybody watching. Type your comments, things like that in down below. And we'll see you next Monday at 7 o'clock.